Welcome back in. Well, we hear a lot about artificial intelligence, what it's capable of, and how at times it can help in a variety of ways. Jordan Crenshaw is the Senior Vice President of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce Technology Engagement Center, and he joins us this afternoon to talk more about how AI can help small business. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Amanda.
Absolutely. So you all did at the Chamber of Commerce, you all did a pretty large analysis on AI and small business. What did you find?
Well, what we found is that AI is a force multiplier, and it's enabling small businesses who typically don't have the same resources and staff as a large company to compete. And nearly all small businesses are using a tool powered by AI, whether it's accounting software, something like QuickBooks, or payment software. But 40% are actually using cutting edge generative AI, and that's being used to do things like market products and create images for advertising or even interact with customers.
So they're really using it, in a variety of ways. And how do we think this is going to help small businesses in the future as they continue to grow?
Well, 98% of small businesses are using an AI-enabled tool. And what we found, I think, for example, and what does that mean for Ohio, is that 82% of Ohio small businesses using AI saw increased sales last year compared to the 73% who weren't using AI. So we're already seeing benefits right now, and we're just scratching the surface. But the same can also be said about profits for small businesses. And it's also just really helping them become more efficient so that they can spend more time doing the core business work that they want to do.
Yeah, to take that time and attention, onto some other more important things, perhaps. So, when we think about AI, though, I think a lot of people go, "What does that mean for jobs? Does that mean a computer is going to take over my job? Am I going to get replaced with a robot?" Those types of questions. So, what do you think in terms of AI and how the impact it's going to have on jobs?
Well, with any technological change or revolution, we are going to see jobs change and transition. But one of the things I found really encouraging about this report was that small businesses that were using AI generally were actually having higher rates of hiring more people than their peers who weren't using AI. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that if small businesses are smart, they're growing, and they're reaching more customers, inevitably they have to bring on more staff and more team members to help them out. And so I think that's an encouraging sign. But it's also important too, as we have new technologies emerge, that we need to build things like K through 12 education, AI into that. We also have local chambers of commerce, community colleges help reskill folks who want to learn a new trade, and also work on ways to retain talent we have in this country to ensure that we're competitive.
Yeah, that could be a whole new, area of study for people. As you mentioned in college, you say, yeah, this seems like the future for me, but we need to learn how to use it because I think, you've got folks like me who are trying to figure it out on the fly, without that education. So this could potentially provide more opportunities for a younger generation.
I think younger, but also I think other generations as well. I think we've seen pivoting from small businesses, regardless of generation, to using this technology. And when they do, they're seeing that they can reach a growing customer base. And I think there are resources out there that I've seen people who've been able to use YouTube to learn how to do ChatGPT for marketing and cut their marketing time down by 70%. And I've also heard examples of using the community college system as well, to learn more advanced versions of AI. So I think this is really going to be a game changer across the board. And I think it's a reason why 90% of small businesses that are using AI are optimistic it's going to help them grow. And one of the things we also found in this report as well is that the more small business owners actually used AI and became more knowledgeable about it, the more they became optimistic about it. And I think that's a real positive sign too.
So it's here to stay, huh?
It is, and I think much like any other technological revolution, like the internet, I think it's going to have profound benefits, but at the same time, we're going to have to build some guardrails here and there too.
Well, it's a great and enlightening here, as we learn a little bit more and more and dig into AI and how it's being used in businesses here across the country. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thanks, Amanda. Appreciate it.
Yep, absolutely.